she'll be at this game.
What would you hate to see the doctor holding right before he circumcises you? An act.
Oh, and now we are.
We asked 100 women, if you could have 2 husbands, one might be strictly for what?
Sex.
Sex! She's gonna need a ride home.
Laredo Taco Company takes the time to make it right. From our fresh ingredients to our famous handmade tortillas. Delicious food served fast and with a smile. Try our new quesadillas, cheesy and delicious, available in chicken or beef at Laredo Taco Company, only at Stripe stores.
Out in the Twitterverse, everyone's buzzing about the Astronaut Wives Club.
Fan now.
It's the new show to obsess over.
I'd like to place a call to the White House, please. I am an astronaut's wife, and this is a matter of national security.
The Astronaut Wives Club, only tonight on ABC.
Channel 5 News, available in Spanish on your SAP channel. From the Valley's News Channel, this is Channel 5 News at 5.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Brownsville right now. A barricade situation in a church parking lot. We broke it on Channel 5 News at 4. Our Steve Solis is on the scene right now. He joins us live with the latest. Steve, what's going on now?
Carrie, we are out here in Brownsville in the, this is St. Luke's Catholic Church and School right off of Price Road. This was a scene of an earlier tense standoff between police and a wanted suspect. Now, earlier today, Brownsville police tried making a stop of somebody who was driving a newer model Toyota Camry. Now, the driver wouldn't stop. That led to a short pursuit, which ended right here in the church parking lot. Now, people inside the church had to be evacuated. Streets near the church, those were shut down as police negotiators tried to get the guy out of his car. Now, about 15 or 20 minutes ago, police were able to get the guy out of his vehicle. The guy was taken into custody, and the car was towed away from the scene. Now, Brownsville police tells me the driver had 2 outstanding warrants. One of those was a aggravated assault, family violence charge. The other was a harassment charge. Now, Brownsville police also tell me they're not sure what other charges this guy might face, and they are looking at those charges tonight and should have a determination by tomorrow. For now, we are live in Brownsville. Steve Solis, Channel 5 News at 5.
A murder investigation underway right now in Hidalgo County. It happened early Sunday morning in the 2500 block of Petunia in rural Weslaco. Kirk Chason is live in our newsroom with the details. And Kirk, what can you tell us?
Well, Carrie, we are not getting much information about this case right now, but here's what we know. The victim is identified as 28-year-old Armando Roman. Investigators say Roman showed up at Knapp Medical Center on Sunday with a gunshot wound. They were unable to save him. Investigators not releasing any more information at this time, such as whether they might have any suspects, any motive, or any idea what might have happened at that Petunia Street address. That was, again, in the 2500 block of Petunia, south of Weslaco. Now, if you know anything about the case, you should call the sheriff's office. Numbers there on your screen, 956-383-8114. Live in the newsroom, Kirk Chason, Channel 5 News at 5.
Well, 4th of July holiday is just a couple of days away, and many people opt to attend citywide firework displays. Several Valley cities set to set off their own fireworks show on Saturday night, including Weslaco. So how is the city preparing? It can't exactly do a practice run. So our Melissa Correa live in Weslaco, and she dug up some details for us. Melissa.
A bulk of Pablo Peña Park going to be barricaded off Saturday. We're learning more about the explosives. They really pack a punch. The biggest one stands this high, about 5 inches, the size of my iPhone. And that small sucker needs a lot of room, 350 feet of fall space on either side. That's more than 2 football fields here at the park. We learned the fireworks are going to be delivered Saturday morning, and firefighters are going to have to keep watch on them from start to finish.
The fireworks show itself is $12,000 for a 15-minute show. And I want it impact. I want people to go away and say, wow, that was a nice show. There's no practice runs, you know. It's a one-time shot.
For the first time in a long time,
right here in our north soccer field,
Weslaco is doing fireworks.
You know, you try to plan and you know, try to get the long guys out here, but it starts raining, or you get the the tree trimmer guys, and it starts raining. And
Parks Director David Arce is running every possible scenario in his mind. The city doesn't know how many folks will show. They don't know what will happen.
Anytime we plan anything like this, we always plan for the worst.
July 4th is crunch time at the firehouse.
Because is the 4th of July in general a busy night for you guys?
As per history, it always has been.
This year, trucks and ambulances will be stationed at the park. That required Chief Tony Lopez to shift schedules. Medics and firefighters,
they're all on standby.
Supplies are double checked.
We also have IV fluids.
Hydrants located. Extinguishers at an arm's reach.
I guess we'll know more next year, right?
What we know now is all the rain dropped an added layer of protection.
The ground's being wet, grass being green.
Arce made sure nearby homes are out of harm's way.
It's tough.
And Airport Drive is not going to be shut down.
No, airport will not be shut down.
I would imagine
unless people start, yeah.
For the first time in a long time, Weslaco is popping fireworks.
That's what we're hoping for. Hopefully Tim Smith comes through.
Weather permitting.
Uh-oh, you better come through, Tim. A note to the report, firefighters in the city spent about a year planning Saturday's fireworks show. Every single barricade folks will see out here at the park is there for a reason. They even have an evacuation plan just in case. The city tells me they spent about a year researching, and in case folks are interested, the show starts promptly at 9:15 sharp Saturday night. We're live in Weslaco. Melissa Correa, Channel 5 News at 5.
Okay, well, our chief meteorologist, Tim Smith, is keeping a close eye on the skies for you this holiday weekend. And Tim, is there any rain in our forecast that could put a damper on all those fireworks shows that are scheduled?
I think any rain that's out there, and I think there may be some on Saturday, but I think all of it's going to be during the daytime, maybe even the afternoon. For the most part, just spotty showers around the area. The evening across most of the valley should be dry. We don't see any big problems at all for the evening hour, so it looks like most of the fireworks shows should be able to come off without a weather hitch at least. Temperatures right now have recovered after the morning rain again, 88 in Brownsville, but it's 90 to 93 across the rest of the valley. You see the humidity is at 45%. Again, we'll look at that chance of showers, update your forecast in a few minutes.
Now to a follow-up to a 5 on your side story that we told you about last night at 10:30. Crews from Cameron County Drainage District were sent out to check a ditch near Business 77 and Highway 83 south of San Benito. A man who lives nearby is concerned that brush and debris in the ditch would slow the flow of water in case of a hurricane. His home flooded during Hurricane Dolly. The Drainage District says that the ditch should work just fine. They say it doesn't need any maintenance. They are more concerned about things like disregarded mattresses or appliances that can block those drains. Tonight, fewer bees are buzzing along First Street in La Villa. City workers removed a massive beehive one day after our cameras were there on Monday. Jesus Rodriguez says that the hive was near his home in an abandoned building. He told us that he got stung several times while cutting his grass. Rodriguez was worried about this after hearing about another Valley man who died after bees swarmed him and attacked him recently. He called Channel 5 to find some help getting those beehives removed. There is still much more ahead on Channel 5 News at 5. A federal agent shot in Arkansas. The suspects caught right here in Texas. We'll tell you about the agent's condition and where the alleged shooters were caught. Plus, a report of shots fired causes mayhem and a lockdown in the nation's capital. We have the latest coming up in just 2 minutes. And we are still learning more about the 2 inmates who broke out of a maximum security prison. What the recaptured inmate is telling investigators about Richard Matt today.
Breaking news, breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adami, Carrie Zayas, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
Celebrate Independence Day with 2 days of concerts and a fireworks display. The City of Harlingen presents the 3rd annual Freedom Fest 2015, July 4th and 5th from 5 to 11 p.m. at Lonsea Hill Park. And it's free to the public. Sonora Dinamita de Anaidita, Celia Ozuna, Roy Garcia, Archie's in Control, Sidewinder, K-Ray, Sergio, and Rope in the Wind. Bucking Crazy and the one and only Kevin Fowler. Plus food, kitty rides, and more. Call 423-5440. Freedom Fest 2015, July 4th and 5th. Presented by the City of Harlingen.
This season's all about the reissues, the retros and the re-releases. But I'm always looking for the next new, that one-of-a-kind new. I'm talking must-have, better get yours before I get mine, limited edition. Introducing the new Sirloin 3rd Pound Burgers from McDonald's. This is premium, fresh out the box hotness you need to jump on before it's gone.
This 4th of July, Nissan's giving you 1,000 more reasons to celebrate. Choose versatility, innovation, excitement, and get holiday bonus cash. During Nissan's Free to Choose event, get up to 1,000 holiday bonus cash on top of existing offers. Hurry! Holiday bonus cash ends July 6th. Shop at your local Nissan store and choosenissan.com. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Getting the family together can be stressful.
Not at Pueblo Tire, that's right. Thursday is Family Day. Just $22 for an oil change. Come on in, that's right. Dance!
For 50 years, Vega Roofing has been a name in roofing you can trust. That means 50 years of knowledge and high standards. Roofing is in our blood, and it's our privilege to serve you. We can re-roof your building regardless of the size. No project is too large or too small. Give Vega Roofing a call. We'll give you a free estimate on our energy-efficient roofing systems from Duralast, Geico Western, La Pola, and others. Vega Roofing, for 50 years, a name in roofing you can trust.
2 suspects who allegedly shot at a DEA agent are now in custody. The shooting happened at about 1 o'clock this morning. Police in Arkansas say the suspects exchanged fire with the agent in Little Rock. That agent was hit and the suspects took off. Law enforcement in Arkansas sent out a message to all nearby agencies to be on the lookout for 2 Hispanic men driving a Kia Sorento. Police in Temple spotted the men and took them into custody. Little Rock police say the DEA agent injured was treated and has been released from the hospital. A security scare today at the Washington Navy Yard this morning resolved without incident. The report of shots fired bringing back some memories of that deadly shooting just 2 years ago. And while this time there was no violence, law enforcement says they are taking every threat seriously, especially ahead of the holiday weekend. Today's report of shots fired at the Navy Yard did not check out. The all clear was a welcome sigh of relief to people across the nation's capital. But much of the lockdown response looked like a mirror image of 2 years ago when a man opened fire in one of the Navy Yard's buildings, killing 12 people.
It appears that all the things that we tried to correct and make go better from the last incident went very, very well.
At this time, there is no evidence of gunshots, there is no evidence of a shooter, and there's no evidence of any victims.
After the report, security at the White House shut down the street in front of the White House as a precaution. This comes just after the Department of Homeland Security put law enforcement agencies across the country on high alert for any potential terror attacks timed to coincide with the 4th of July. Recaptured prison escapee David Sweat is still spilling details about he and his partner's breakout from a New York prison. Sweat is telling investigators that Richard Matt, who was fatally shot last week, was out of shape and hitting the bottle hard after they broke into a cabin. That is what prompted the 2 fugitives to split up. Meanwhile, at the prison from where these men escaped, there is a major shakeup going on. A new prison warden is now on duty, along with new rules that include weekly wall inspections, random bed checks, and new gates that will be placed inside the tunnels where Matt and Sweat climbed through in their escape. Sweat will be turned over to Corrections Department officials after his release from the hospital.
Another day that started with rain in a lot of the valley, but as we head into the weekend, we'll track that rain chance, see what we've got for you. Your First Warn 5 forecaster, Los Garces, Heidelberg, Holly Beach, the rest of the valley. It's next.
Hold on to every moment this summer with Schlitterbahn and Pizza Hut. Explore thrilling adventures, pure and family fun, or seek relaxation. There's something for everyone at your favorite water park. And right now, get exclusive discounts at Schlitterbahn when you call or visit Pizza Hut today. Splash into summer.
Jardín del Arte presents Frida Fest, Friday, July 10th at 7 p.m. Check out lots of great artwork, the Frida Lookalike Contest, live music from the Dirty Birdies, and much more. Frida Fest, Friday, July 10th at 7 p.m.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, in everything we build, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now get nearly 10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra SLE models in stock the longest.
Take control of your future. You can with one phone call. See for yourself how focused vocational training from STVT can help you on the path to a new career.
With a career, you're actually doing something with yourself and other people, you know, something fulfilling in life.
At STVT, financial aid's available for those who qualify. We offer flexible class schedules because we know you have a busy schedule. We can even help with career placement assistance at graduation.
You can reach us online or call now, 888-321-3448.
Mott's is it's like coming home. A lot of people come here and they're like, I love the way this place feels. You could walk in here and you could talk to anybody, and we want that feel. It's like coming home. You could go back to your mom's house, go back to your grandma's house, and that's the feel we want. It's like it's a family. When you come here, you're gonna be treated like family, and we're gonna show customers you're not getting to know our business, but you're also getting to know our family.
I was badly injured in a car accident. After I called Jeff Davis, my case settled, and I received $102,000 in my pocket.
So if you're injured, call me at 956-444-4444. There's only one number to remember, 4.
Hot dog pizza, 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 hot dog pizza.
Two classics together at last. Get a Hot Dog Bites pizza with 28 hot dog bites. Limited supply, just $11.99. No one has more flavor.
And now, First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, a lot of people waking up to thunder and lightning again this morning. Everything was in the eastern half of the valley, basically 69C eastward, and now it's all pushing out. See the timeline up there by 3 o'clock. It was all history, and we don't expect anything else tonight. But tomorrow we could see another round of this. I don't think it's quite as active tomorrow, but still there's a possibility of a little bit of rain. But look how, again today, Starr County, with the exception of one little blip, missing out on this rain completely. Western Hidalgo County as well, but eastern half of Hidalgo County and Willacy, Cameron County is picking up on some pretty good rain. Dopplers suggested in the last 12 hours we've seen a big burst of rain right there just east of Raymondville, more than 4 inches of rain right along 186 on the way out toward Port Mansfield. Southern part of Willacy County over 3 inches, and then you see everywhere else considerably lighter than that and very spotty once you get back into the western part of the valley. Now, Future Track says tonight, poof, that's it, it's gone. So we watch for tomorrow. And I think tomorrow we see a little more sunshine earlier in the day, but what that does is allow the sea breeze to come to life. It warms things up a little faster. Sea breeze fires up near the coast and moves inland. We'll watch to see if we get another moisture surge tomorrow like what we've seen the last couple of days, but at this point it looks like we're more likely to see just the sea breeze activity that fires up near the coast and moves inland during the afternoon. Certainly by tomorrow night, whatever it is gone again. Then we go on into the Saturday for the 4th of July. Spotty activity shows up again during the afternoon, but by evening it should be gone, should be fine for fireworks. And then on Sunday, same kind of thing, isolated showers with otherwise partly sunny skies. Here are your rain chances, 20%, 20%, and 10%. This is all mainly daytime stuff. We don't expect a whole lot of nighttime activity at all. Temperature-wise, we're still running normal. Normal's 95. We're going to go 92, 92, 94 with the extra cloud cover again, keeping temperatures just a little bit below where we're supposed to be for the early part of July. Haven't had many complaints about that. Look across Texas and most of the state enjoying clear skies today. Down to the south is where the action is. You see showers and thunder showers firing up on the coast of Mexico. And then we've got a pretty good tropical wave moving very quickly westward across the Yucatan Peninsula. It's that wave that's going to keep that shot, at least some moisture in here as we head into the weekend. May not be here yet tomorrow, but still that sea breeze can come to life. This newest model run suggests that Saturday we see moisture come in, but not very impressive, is it? And if it stays that way, we'll see more sunshine than what the forecast calls for right now, but I still think we're looking at least isolated showers each day of the weekend. So tonight, partly cloudy with a spotty shower, mostly well to the north of us as it fades away. And then tomorrow, back up to 92 degrees with spotty showers and isolated thunder shower possible. Southeast winds 12 to 22. So here you go. Holiday weekend, 3-day holiday weekend for your Friday. Spotty thunderstorm, 92. Same kind of thing for Saturday and Sunday. Things fade away, though, by the first of next week. We're in a pattern that suggests we could still see isolated showers each day, but we're talking less than 10% for most of next week. That's your updated First Warn 5 forecast.
Well, as you can see, it's already very warm outside, and we can expect more of the same for the next few months. That's why we team up with HEB and the Salvation Army during this time of year for our Fives Fans for Friends campaign. With your help, we are going to provide fans for Valley residents who need them, and the calls for help are already coming in.
We get people coming in who are elderly, some people who are recovering from a sickness. We get big families, there are lots of children, and you never know the situation, what someone's going through, and the heat can make it just all that more difficult.
Now here's how you can help. It's really very easy. Visit any HEB location anywhere in the Valley, buy a fan, leave it at HEB. They're going to put it in the donation bin for you. The fans will be picked up by the Salvation Army and they will be distributed to people who need them. You have the entire month of July to donate, and we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
With AT&T, the choice is yours. Only pay for the services you need to make your bundle work for you.
Call AT&T now to choose any bundle like internet for $15 and home phone for $20 per month. Or start with UVerse high-speed internet and add the other services you want to get the bundle you need.
With UVerse high-speed internet, you'll get fast speed at an affordable price. Get wireless service and high-speed internet with a Wi-Fi gateway to connect all your devices and save on your mobile data usage at home.
Switch to AT&T now and choose any bundle like internet for $15 and home phone for $20 per month. Or call and choose the 2, 3, even 4 services you want to build a bundle that works for you. Don't wait. Call this number today.
Go ahead. The choice is yours. Only pay for the services you need in your bundle, because with AT&T, it's whatever works for you.
Legend Transitional Care is growing. With 30 more private rooms now available, Legend Transitional Care can now help even more people transition from acute care to home. With a fully equipped therapy gym, a therapy kitchen and bath, and comfortable dining room, Legend provides a perfect setting for a patient's physical and emotional well-being. Legend Transitional Care, the only 5-star nursing home facility in Hidalgo County, just south of Ridge Road on South K Street, McAllen.
Hacienda Ford, the RGV's truck superstore, must sell 100 units immediately. So we're offering our biggest savings ever during our old-fashioned Red Tag sales event. Every new and every used vehicle is clearly marked with special Red Tag savings. Our biggest savings ever. If you're looking for a deal, don't look anywhere else. At Hacienda Ford, you could save thousands right now, because we must sell 100 vehicles immediately. Hurry in and get your special finance rate from lenders on site during our old-fashioned Red Tag sales event. Hacienda Ford, the RGV truck superstore, Edinburgh.
At Spices and Grains International Food Market, we chose ASG Security because we were looking for something more secure at our home and our new business.
Call ASG Security now and protect your business with the latest and greatest technology.
Education Beat is supported by the Region 1 Education Service Center.
The goal of the Gear Up program is to help students find a college that fits their needs. In today's Gear Up, Letty Garza shows us how a conference is assisting both educators and students in doing just that.
These educators are being taught to encourage students who have great potential to find and follow their dream. The conference, dubbed College Match, was sponsored by Region 1. One of several keynote speakers was Peter Vance Burzik, president of a company called Best College Fit. He had some great advice for these educators.
If we can imagine all of those schools fitting on a pyramid, the pyramid comes to a peak as there are fewer and fewer schools that are hard to get into, and the harder they are to get into, the fewer there are. So what's really important for kids is to know themselves academically and to understand where they fit on that pyramid.
Dr. Tina Atkins, executive director for Gear Up, says their partners are making a difference.
We were really excited to be able to partner with the National Council for Communities and Education Partnerships to provide this two-day workshop for our teachers and our counselors. So the important part of this conference is that it allowed us to have really deep discussions around the ideas of college match and fit and about the educational outcomes of young men. Those are both national initiatives.
The weeks before Ranjit Sidhu is with the National Council for Community and Education Partnerships. He says some of the talented students in the Valley may not be reaching their full potential.
We've got a lot of great kids in sort of diverse communities that maybe aren't optimizing their potential to some degree. So this idea of match and fit, I think nationally, is about, boy, there's some kids who are really ready to excel and propel and need to be environments that challenge them to do that. And how do we ensure that more low-income kids think that that opportunity is possible and that they access it?
And that is what Gear Up is all about. I'm Letty Garza with Gear Up.
Wow! You're gonna love LAC's Red, White, and Wow sale. This sofa offers great style with a neutral cover and decorator pillow, now only $6.79. And no interest for 48 months at LAC's Red, White, and Wow sale.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
This is amazing.
That's amazing.
Real people are discovering surprising things at Chevy.
We're sold. It's so pretty.
They're good-looking cars. It feels great.
Perfect. This is not what I would expect from a Chevy at all.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagined at the Chevy 72-hour sale. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2015 Chevy vehicles. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Get yours now. The 72-hour sale ends July 9th.
See your Rio Grande Valley Chevy dealers.
Gilman Guy rule number 212. Gilman Guy here. What if they made a deal finder like a fish finder? The best deals would pop up right on the screen. But they don't. But if they did, it would show a big old school of Gilman Chevy.
No need to fish for the best deals. Right now, buy a 2014 Chevrolet Spark for only $10,995 at Gilman Chevy in San Benito and Harlingen. Gilman, big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Gilman Guy rule number 212. Catch a good deal. Woo!
Gilman, it's the way to go.
Tonight, how about we celebrate? The win, the loss, the team. Let's bring it all together. Here's to happy birthdays, congratulations, and how have you beens? Here's to grabbing a slice. Together, double up at Peter Piper today, and you'll get 2 large, 1-topping pizzas made with real cheese and fresh ingredients, all for the low price of just $20.99. Peter Piper Pizza. Everyone grab a slice.
Wow! You're gonna love LAC's Red, White, and Wow sale. Serta memory foam queen sets in your choice of firm plush or super pillow top, now just $8.33, and no interest for 48 months. Now at LAC's.
Con Mi Gente is supported by Security First Credit Union and Sonic.
The 4th of July is usually celebrated with fireworks and barbecue, but one group of veterans is using the day to turn an old movie theater into their new stomping grounds. Rick Diaz shows us in today's Con Mi Gente.
The Veterans of Foreign War, our mission is veterans. But we have our honor guard that we do, so we do funerals throughout the Rio Grande Valley wherever we're invited.
They're the members of VFW Post 7473 of Elsa, and they're trying to turn this historic theater into their permanent home.
Well, we're trying to restore it, not so much redesign it or anything. We want to keep its glory. This theater goes back into the history of this, our roots here in Elsa, Texas.
Lupita is the first female commander of the post. The post was chartered in 1968 when they held their first meetings wherever anybody would loan them a table and a couple of chairs.
For example, a dance lounge, an old bar here in Elsa, El Padrinos, El Charro, they're all old bars. We have no place to stay.
I had 2 tours in Vietnam, 67, 68, and 69. I was only 18. Turned 19 over there.
He is one of the charter members of the post and looking forward to having a place of their own.
It's going to be for all the veterans to come in, and, sit around, talk, and, that's, we feel more comfortable talking to another veteran.
They've already repaired the ceiling, and they're also wanting to turn it into something for the community.
We want to offer the community a place where they can hold their fiestas, their celebrations, their ceremonies. It's not about making money, it's just about having something for the community and being able to pay our bills.
Their main purpose, though, is to help the veterans.
For instance, we had a veteran whose house burned down. We helped raise money through the community, through the Rio Grande Valley. We were able to purchase him a mobile home. That's why we're here. The purpose of the Veterans Award is to help veterans. What we want out of this is to see if we can get maybe some corporate people or business people to come out and support us and help. Any little thing will help us.
On this 4th of July, VFW Post 7473 of Elsa is looking to establish their first ever permanent home with a little help. For Channel 5 News, I'm Rick Diaz con mi gente.
Thanks so much for being with us today. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Closed captioning brought to you by Channel 5 and Clark Chevrolet McAllen.
Security First Credit Union has helped generations of Valley families realize their dreams. We were there from the beginning, there for your first financial success, there for the big steps and the small. When your family joins Security First, you can trust your financial future to the credit union that's been part of Valley life since 1947. With 16 branches from Brownsville to Palmview, we'll be there for generations to come. Security First Credit Union. Always family, always first.
There's a job opportunity at Channel 5 for a Spanish content translator. Applicant must have 2 to 3 years of relevant experience, a bachelor's degree or equivalent preferred, strong written and verbal communication skills, professional fluency in Spanish, excellent grammar in English and Spanish, must be able to translate documents in both languages. Position will interpret and translate scripts from English to Spanish, affirm translation accuracy, and communicate to our team and meet all deadlines. Qualified applicants should send a resume to the personnel director. KRGV-TV is an equal opportunity employer.
Channel 5 News is proud to invite you to join us as we introduce Channel 5 News in Espanol. You'll still see the same team, breaking news and breaking stories, now also available in Spanish. Use your SAP button to tune in. By choosing the secondary audio channel on your TV, you'll see the same great newscast translated live by our team of translators. It's the coverage the Valley depends on from Channel 5 News, now available in Espanol.
You're watching KRGV, Channel 5 Weslaco.
Tonight, the toxic cloud danger. 5,000 people forced from their homes. The train carrying dangerous chemicals derails, bursting into flames, fire, and black smoke filling the sky. Authorities tonight warning about possible air and water contamination. The scare that put the Navy Yard on lockdown. Law enforcement on high alert tonight for possible terror attacks. Police from New York to Philadelphia to L.A. fully deployed. And the unruly passenger accused of making bomb threats during the flight. Holiday storms. 5 reported tornadoes in the Midwest, flying debris, exploding transformers as a record number of travelers hit the road, millions in the path of extreme weather. Breaking news, the new health stunner. Doctors reporting tonight the first measles death in America in 12 years. And the summer of the shark, 7 attacks in 3 weeks, calls to close some beaches over the danger lurking in the water.
From ABC News World Headquarters, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening on this Thursday night. I'm Amy Robach in for David Muir, and we begin with the dangerous scene unfolding in Tennessee. The toxic cloud, 5,000 people evacuated. The images coming in tonight, the freight train burning on the tracks, hauling dangerous chemicals through the city of Maryville. Emergency teams clearing a 2-mile radius. At least 45 people rushed to the hospital. Residents told not to go home this evening. ABC's Alex Perez in Tennessee with the warning now about possible new contamination in the water and the air.
Tonight, that dark cloud of toxic fumes hovering over parts of eastern Tennessee. The fire from that freight train accident still smoldering.
I can see it down the tracks burning. I'm going to put my gear on and start that way. Don't get too close.
The fumes forcing 5,000 residents to evacuate.
It sounds to me like we need to